While some fight to better the standard of English in Singapore, Japanese singer Sachiyo taught Singlish in Japan. She had a radio show called Rojak Rojak, which ran from July 2006 to October 2007. And the singer-songwriter introduced Singapore culture to the listeners in Japan, covering everything from music, fashion, food, lifestyle, and of course, Singlish. Okay, Sachiyo, when you had your radio show in Japan called Rojak Rojak, can you tell us what you actually taught to your Japanese listeners about Singlish?
Okay, it's one of the products of the multicultural in Singapore. So I got to have like a 5-minute Singlish corner from my program. Let's start Singlish. And today's Singlish is more fun and like kiasu and this kind of thing.
You actually taught that?
Yeah.
And how did the Japanese listeners take to it? Did they like it?
Yeah, they said it's very, very funny, very, very interesting.
Okay.
And sometimes I don't understand, really don't understand. But it's very, I always say like, let's try, let's use it.
Okay.
It's very easy to communicate and become very familiar and close to the Singaporeans. So why don't you start from like using la? Yeah, and for like second level, third level, maybe try to use like lay, low, may, and got may. And I always mix and want to try to use this Singlish in my conversation, like let's go for the makan.
Okay.
And when I want to make a payment and xiao jie and my time please, and I know.
So it's part of your vocabulary now.
Yes,
it's natural.
Very natural.
So even though you left Singapore when you were 15 and you spent a number of years in Tokyo, it still never left you?
Yes. Because like my parents live here. Yeah. So I just go back and forth between two countries. So every year I come back to Singapore.
Yeah.
So once I arrived in the Changi airport and I like smell and feel the atmospheres and strictly change to the Singlish.
Okay, when you're in Japan, do you ever accidentally speak in Singlish?
Not really. Yeah, because they cannot understand.
Yeah.
But I got to have like a Singapore Japanese school, like classmates out there. So we mix. Yeah, even we also put a Japanese. Yeah.
Oh wow. Even though Sachiyo had learned to play the piano at age 5, her parents restricted her from joining the music business, fearing the worst for their child. After university, she entered the advertising industry and was exposed to music management and event coordination. She came back to Singapore at age 25 and spent 2 years at a Japanese advertising agency here, and that's when she had enough. Sachiyo quit her job and went back to Japan to begin her music career.
At the age of 27, I studied jazz, and so for the first 3 years, I mainly sang jazz songs to the Japanese people. But I found it's kind of like a weird to sing the English jazz songs to the Japanese audiences. Then I think I better started to write my original composition to show my originality to the people. Let's see what I have and what the other Japanese have. Then I have a Singapore background. Yeah, so I constantly surrounded by the ethnic cultures in Singapore. So I could like sing like Chinese songs, Malay songs, including Majola Singapura.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah. Everybody's surprised. It's really you. This is really your original style. So it's better to maintain. Oh, okay. So.
And this is when you were still in Tokyo?
Yes.
Wow, okay.
So around like 2000 now.
Sachiyo's first album entitled Sachiyo Sings Singapore set her apart from her jazz counterparts in Japan. And her second album, Rojak Rojak, was no different. So the second album is called Rojak. Okay, why Rojak?
Because I believe this Rojak is kind of like a synonym of the multicultural. Can be like melting pot. I feel at the time the mixed culture is one of the key points of producing my music. Yeah. So try to show my own multicultural side and multi-languages. So I feel this is Rojak is the appropriate title for my album.
In the next part, Sachiyo talks about her third album, My Life, My Songs. Her first English album, she called upon some of the best Singaporean songwriters to help her out for the album. Find out more in the next part.